welcome back to Hodge and Podge in the Pick'em segment. We did this last week, and I think we had a pretty good response on it.
Yeah,
everybody loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
It was all hyped up. Everybody's talking about it and stuff. So, and we did a great job too, I think.
No, we held our own. We held our own.
So I guess we'll start with college. Last week we were both 2-1, so just kind of a draw there. But you ready to get into it for this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so the first game we're going to pick number 14, Texas A&M, at number 18, Arkansas. The spread is 3 points. Texas A&M is favored, and you're taking...
I'm going with Arkansas in this because I think they got a high-powered offense. Most teams are going to look poor against Alabama because Alabama has that great of a defense. So I think they get back on the right track. I think they win the game outright, but so I'm going with Arkansas in this game.
You know, I think a lot of these are tough picks.
Yeah, it is a tough pick.
I kind of went, did we really want to pick these games? I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I think that after last week's kind of debacle in the second half against Oklahoma State.
What happened?
That they're really going to...
Because a different team came out of the locker room.
Yeah, I know, and they're going to have to really, really try to put things together this week. So I'm going to go ahead and give the points. I just think Texas A&M is going to go into Arkansas. I think they're going to say, hey, we want to be a part of the SEC, and we're going to take it to you guys.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game to watch, though.
No, I think it'll be entertaining.
Number 2 on the tap, we got number 3, Alabama, at number 12, Florida. Alabama's favored by 4 points.
So this is a good game. This should be a really good game. I'm going Florida in this game.
You are?
I think Alabama may win it. I think 4 points may be too much.
So you're taking the 4 points?
Yeah, I think it's real close.
I don't know. I watched a little bit of that Florida-Kentucky game, and Florida just kind of whooped up on them. So I'm kind of scared to pick this one. But in my gut, I really think Nick Saban's going to have his team ready to go. They really looked good last week. They kind of figured out their quarterback, who they're going to go with. I think Trent Richardson is just a beast at tailback. So I'm going to give the 4 points. I think Alabama's going to step up and kind of say, hey,
they're a good team.
We're the SEC. We're the top.
Florida's good too, though.
I think they are too. So it'll be.
And it's in Florida. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's a night game in the swamp, so it's going to be tough.
It's a tough atmosphere.
I guess I'm just riding kind of Nick Saban there. So
it's not a bad.
All right, third game we got Clemson at Virginia Tech.
I struggle with this pick right here.
Virginia Tech's favored by 7 points.
I really struggle. I think Clemson showed some real. I think they've had some real good wins over the last couple of weeks. I mean, you had Auburn, and then they beat Florida State at home. Going on the road, Virginia Tech has looked pretty good, but I don't know about the competition Virginia Tech's had. And 7 points is a lot of points. So
yeah,
I'm taking Clemson.
You're taking Clemson, so you're going to take the points. Actually, I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm going to take the points as well, and I'll tell you why. Typically, Virginia Tech loses a game before they go into the ACC, and they haven't lost a game yet. So I think they're about due to lose a game. The other reason is their quarterback that they've got was a guy that they converted from tight end. He originally played quarterback in high school, but he hasn't really seemed to find his rhythm yet.
Right.
And I just think 7 points is a lot against the Clemson team that's looked really tough the last couple of weeks.
Clemson's on fire.
And they're playing well. I was just really surprised to see 7 points. If it was 3 or 4, I probably would have gone with Virginia Tech, but I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take the points with Clemson. So the last one we got for the college football this week, big game in Camp Randall, Wisconsin. Nebraska, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's favored by 10 points.
It's a lot of points, but Wisconsin plays so well at home. I mean, they really play well at home.
I can't disagree with that.
They got the good running game. I think they
got Russell Wilson, who was at NC State, and he's a pretty solid quarterback. He's probably the best quarterback they've had in 20 years.
I just don't see Nebraska being able to stay with them at Wisconsin. I think they blow them out in this game.
I think Wisconsin's going to win this game. I don't know about the 10. It's 10 points. It's a lot of so points. Many. I'm going to take the points with Nebraska. I think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be about 6-7 points that Wisconsin wins by. Even though it's at home and they could jump out. If they jump out quick, then I'm probably screwed. But I'm going to go ahead with.
The thing too is the Wisconsin coach loves to run the score up, right? That's one thing you really can feel good with him because he's going to go for 2. It's going to be an onside kick. I mean, he's going to do whatever it takes to score more points,
that's
right?
A good point.
So that really makes you feel good as a gambler on this because, dude, you can't change that.
Can I change my pick? No? All right. I'm going to stick with Nebraska, but I still think Wisconsin wins the game. I don't know if Nebraska's ready to play Big Ten ball.
I agree with that.
All right, so we'll move into the NFL. I guess we kind of had a rough week last week. We both went 1-2.
Jets don't do well on the West
really
Coast.
Talk about. So
Jets don't go well on the West
Coast. Let's just move into this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we got the battle of the defeated. Minnesota at Kansas City. Minnesota favored by 1.5.
I think Minnesota goes in and gets it done. I think they finally put it. I think they finally put two halves together. They've got the first half down. Now I think they add the second half. And Kansas City has just been awful. The first
they've been terrible. And without Jamal Charles, I just can't see them getting back into it. I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think this is kind of an easy pick, and we could both be wrong next week. But it seems like a no-brainer to pick Minnesota to go in there and actually right the ship. They're talking about how they need to get Adrian Peterson the ball more in the second half. They've jumped out to the lead. I don't know how you're not running the ball with Adrian Peterson just running the clock down. I mean, that's just
I think
a no-brainer.
I think part of the problem they've had in the second half is that Frazier's gotten too conservative. You're up 20-0. I mean, 20-0 seems like a lot, but in the NFL, it's really not. So I mean, you got to keep your foot to the floorboard, right? I mean, you got to keep your foot on the accelerator and keep going forward. I think that's what they need to do is hand the ball off.
I think they get it right this week. They give the ball to AP probably about 28, 29 times, and he just has a heck of a day. And Donovan, maybe a couple play action passes. And,
right.
He's like, he does the Roethlisberger, like 13 of 18.
I'll put him in my fantasy.
They're not going to have to
The importance is getting the winning. The importance is getting the win, right?
All right, the second game. Obviously, this is a game you probably want to talk about the most. The Jets at 2-1 going into Baltimore 2-1. Baltimore's favored 3.5 points. What do you think on this one?
I think the Jets get it done here. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I think I'm not really impressed with Flacco. I mean, I think it's kind of an aberration last week. I mean,
could you be objective?
You're not going to do that against the Jets defense. You're not going to throw three. That was like something you did on the playground. Go deep, I'll hit you right.
Yeah,
I'll hit you down by the lamp.
I guess my question would be: Darren McFadden ran all over the Jets defense. Do you think Ray Rice isn't going to be able to do that?
I don't see it. I think part of it is going. I think part of it's going out in the West. I'm going with the Jets.
I'm taking Baltimore, and I'm going to give the points. This was a tough one for me, just because I think Baltimore is going to win. I'm just not sure it's going to be by more than 2 or 3. So I'm going to go ahead and give the points, but that wouldn't be my pick. I mean, my heart is to say that Baltimore is going to win this because I think that they're going to be able to pound the ball and a couple play action passes. They're not going to try and throw the ball all over the place like they did against St. Louis. But I think that Baltimore will win this game.
I will say this about the Jets' offense. I think they're missing that big play component, and I think that Santonio Holmes has got to step up and make some big plays down the field, either him or Burris. The Sanchez has got to get something down the field.
Yeah, they don't have Edwards anymore, so they got to get Burris and
everyone gave Edwards a bad time. He made a ton of big plays. Dropped a lot of balls.
He's not really doing anything.
He dropped a lot of balls, but he made a ton of big plays for the Jets.
All right, back on topic. Third game. We got Pittsburgh going to Houston. Houston's favored by 4 points.
I think Houston gets this done.
You like Houston?
I like Houston at home. I think Pittsburgh. They beat Seattle. I mean, they've. I just don't think they're
barely beat Indianapolis.
I think the defense is aging, so I think it's not that same. I think the defense is still good. It's not great, and maybe they get it together in the year.
I kind of feel like the league this year, the defenses are a little bit behind the offenses. The offenses have, and I don't know if it's rule changes or anything like that, but you really feel like kind of the defenses just can't quite get in sync on things. I agree with you. I'm going to go with Houston. I'm going to give up the 4 points. I think they probably win by about 6. Pittsburgh just doesn't look like the same team that they used to.
They're not getting the defense isn't getting the turnovers. They're not getting those defensive scores.
You just kind of wait for that defense to click. I think Pittsburgh will start getting rolling in a couple weeks, but right now they're kind of not in it. Right. And I think Matt Schaub has a good day. I think Arian Foster's supposed to play, so I think that's kind of a big deal. To help the Houston Texans. So I'm going to agree with you on that one. And then the last game we got 3-0 Detroit. Undefeated, going into Dallas, Big D, 2-1.
I wanted to pick Dallas.
Dallas is favored by 1.5.
I wanted to pick Dallas this home. I just based on the Monday night performance against the Redskins, it'll be a short week. They'll be coming back. I mean, they did just enough to win the game, but I mean, they just didn't really impress me. I think the Lions' defense is going to put a lot more pressure on than the Redskins did. And I think Stafford, is going to have some bigger plays. I think you're going to have the wideouts for the Lions. I think it's going to be a big. I think they're going to get some big plays.
Yeah, I want to disagree with you, but I'm really kind of in the same exact mind frame as you are. I thought, I really wanted to say that Dallas is going to win and Detroit's going to go to 3-1 instead of 4-0. I don't think Detroit's like the elite team that they're going to stay at the top and be one of those top tier teams. I think they're going to kind of slide back a little bit somewhere in the season. But I don't see that happening against Dallas either. Dallas has got too many injuries. Miles Austin's still going to be out. They can't get their snap count down. They can't. The wide receivers don't know where to stand for the routes. It's just that performance was just so bad against the Redskins that you kind of feel like the Redskins lost that game more than Dallas won it.
Yeah, I mean
6 field goals. You can't beat Detroit with 6 field goals because they're going to get Calvin Johnson in the end zone at least once or twice. Javid Best is going to play well.
Right.
So I'm with you. I'm going with Detroit. I was actually kind of surprised to see Dallas was favored by 1.5. I'm not sure what Vegas knows that I don't.
Right. At home, that's what they got. They were at home.
I guess so, yeah.
That's good.
I guess that wraps it up. So we'll see how we do next week.
No,
we'll try to keep tabs on it. Hopefully, we can, at least in the NFL, we can get above 500 because I'd like that.
Me too. Be positive.
So,
all right. Thanks a lot.
Look forward to seeing you guys next week. We'll do another pick'em section and hope you enjoy it.